We have been...
We're stalling.
Yeah, we're stalling. We're stalling.
Hard, yeah. Okay,
What's up, nerds and nerdettes? Welcome to Recap Thursdays, where we go over everything that happened in Sunday Night RPG. You know me. You know her.
Let's fucking do this.
Let's jam. Let's do it.
Grab a drink. Grab your Philippine dried mangoes that were on sale at Costco.
Oh my god! She's just rubbing it in now. Rubbing it in. So last time we left off, the party was sailing on the Wave Raker, down, and we had entered into the fog of Alakir.
Alakir, yeah.
And well, actually, I did. Did you?
What?
No, I did. I heard the sound of battle, and we went on a dinghy.
You did. Your
on land, and we fought some frog people.
There we go.
We fought some frog people.
Some bogards.
Yep. And this is Boggards. Yeah, Boggards. And we left off there. We had slain at least that tribe's Boggard king, and the battle got cleaned up by the rest of the Alakir warriors, and that's where we left off.
Yeah.
You wanna pick this up, or do you want me to pick it up? Or?
Yeah. So we're in Alakir, and there's a fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So Grim asks Kira. Yeah, Grim asks Kira if she still has Mokat's compass that he gave her in Almazar, because that would probably help figuring out what the source of the fog was.
It's not that easy.
So she does still have it, and she takes it out, and it's just like, I don't know, everything is just fucking...
Everything is magical.
So, yeah, so that's useless. The interesting thing is... Wait.
You got this.
Wait. Is this later? No, okay. So the interesting thing is that the fog is coming from not the water. So typically fog comes from water because it's water vapor. Makes total sense, but it's not. The closer we get to the water, the lesser the fog is, and this sort of leads us to believe that it's definitely a magic source. So we're like, well, why don't we meet up with the main force? But the chieftain says that maybe he could do that instead, and then we can go find the source of the fog. So we go to find the Wavebreaker, and that's unsuccessful.
Yeah, we tried to get back into our dinghy, and we go back to where the Wavebreaker was anchored. Wasn't there. Grim tries so hard.
So hard.
So hard. So we give up on that. We go back to land. We meet up with the Alakir warriors again, and we're like, hey, we're back, and we can't find our boat. And they're like, oh, well, that sucks. But the party decides that we did whatever happened to the Wavebreaker. It happened to the Wavebreaker. But we had established before going onto land that we were going for the port city. To the port city of Alakir.
Yes.
So the group mentality, or Grim mentions out that if push comes to shove, the Wavebreaker will still head towards there. So instead of going we should go there by land, basically. And then in hopes that the Wavebreaker is sitting there, and then we can catch up and then make sure everyone's okay. So the group sets off into the Alakir jungle with all this mist in the general direction of where the port is, which is going to be normally a couple days journey, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, so we venture into the fog, and Kira's the only one who passes the perception test at this point. So she hears rustling.
This guy
in the bushes. The Wave Raper. No, Raker, like a rake. Like raking shit. So anyway, so Wes and Roker go and investigate because they're the tanks, and in case it's something scary. they can handle it.
Super scary.
But it turns out to be a kid, and he's like 10-ish years old, and he's yelling something in Allokur.
Which Grim
And
translates.
yeah, Grim translates into put down your weapons or I'll kill you all right there.
So
And
fierce.
he like
So
yeah,
very fierce.
so Wes puts his weapons into his glove, and the kid doesn't like that. He's like, "I see you, tricky. No tricks." And so he takes it back out and puts it on the ground. And so we ask about where the village is, if there's a village nearby, and he says no village, just him. So then we ask him how to get to Kaitoa, the port city.
Mm.
And he's like, well, why do you want to get there? And so we tell him about the fights and the fog and the boggards and stuff, and he goes, oh, well, was my uncle there? And so we
Rokor remembers.
do some rolls, yeah.
Yeah,
and
Rokor
we
remembers.
that, yes, his uncle was there. And so the kid warms up to us right away, and he's like, okay, awesome. I'll take you somewhere. And so he takes us through the bushes to a camp. And there are a bunch of women and like elderly people and children.
It's a village. He lied about the village. That's actually
he did lie about the village. But you know, you can never be too careful. Yeah. So a woman runs up to him and scolds him and takes his bow and arrow. Scolds him for going out by himself. And we learn that it is the Karun tribe, which is his uncle's tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. So we try to gather as much information as possible about the fog. We find out that the fog rolled in a couple of weeks ago, and it came from the south. So deeper in, the southwest. So deeper into the Alakir jungle. And we're warmed. We're welcomed really warmly by the villagers. They put us up for the night. They give us food, and we ask if there is basically another village nearby that's on the same path towards Kaitoa, so that we're not like camping in the middle of the jungle, right? So they do say that there's a village close by, in the general direction, and it's about, I don't know, like a day away, so which is perfect. Yep. So bright and early the next morning, we head off in that direction. Again, end goal is to head to Kaitoa. That's not what happens, though.
Nope. So we venture into the marshes, which, if you've ever watched Lord of the Rings, not a good idea. Shit happens in the marshes. In these marshes, there's a friggin' Hydra. It's got a lot of heads. A lot of heads.
14.
14 heads.
It has 14 heads.
So, that sucks. So we have to fight it. And we fight it.
It's a pretty intense fight. The Hydra, at the start, the Hydra comes and bites Brokor and chucks him.
Yep.
Quite far. Chucks him quite far. And then it grabs Grim and bites him, and Grim goes unconscious.
Grim dies.
Dying. Unconscious.
Grim is dying.
Dying.
Yeah, he's
I was 2 points away from a Constitution modifier. Two. That's fucking around, and then that's it. I'm dead. It would have sucked. But thankfully, Grim is ragdolling in the mouth of one of the Hydras, one of its 14 heads. The Hydra, I guess, killed by Wes. I think Wes killed. Yeah, he goes to save Grim, kills the Hydra. Hydra drops Grim actually in the swamp, which sucks. So he's drowning now. He's unconscious and drowning. Yeah. And but Wes quickly runs out into the marsh pit and scoops him up.
Yep. And he
Uh,
is revived and doesn't die.
yeah,
Yay.
everyone has bleed damage though, so there's healing. Wes actually, well, when Rokor gives Wes the potion, a health potion to revive Grim, Grim regains consciousness and starts spluttering, and he's really down about the whole thing. Like he feels like he says something along the lines that he just needs an hour, and we can continue it because he doesn't want to hold back the the party, and so Brokor and Wes have already set up a tent, and Wes is ushering uh, Grim into it, and he just mythic passes out to recover everything. And Wes stays with Grim the entire hour that he needs to recuperate.
Mm-hmm.
And after an hour passes and the party rests and recovers from the fight, they proceed onwards.
Yep. So we keep mango.
Just savor it. Anyway, we keep on going.
No, I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
okay.
Stop. Because I have a bunch more. Um, not to rub it in or anything. So we keep traveling until we emerge from the fog
Hmm.
into like a completely clear area. It's very much Eye of the Storm. There's a temple before us that looks much like the Temple of the Past, which we came across in Allokur before, but it's not the Temple of the Past. And there are 3 humongous figures dressed in ceremonial garb. They're like twice man size, so they're bigger than Rokor, and Rokor's a big dude. Their skin is jet black, and one guy's got like a mace sword type thing. Jeff said what it was, but I didn't write it down.
Uh, the name of the weapon I don't know, but it's basically like obsidian, like jagged obsidian. It's not even a finely crafted thing. It's basically a slab of obsidian that is cracked, and it's made into like it's usually made out of shark tooth, like a shark jaw,
Right.
necessarily,
Right.
and
Okay.
it's just meant to it's a beast of a weapon.
Yeah, so he's got this big freaking thing. It's super intimidating. And the
Yes,
other
2 of
two
them.
are playing hacky sack with a human skull. So that's also super intimidating. They're just being total dicks and loitering outside of this temple.
Slab of obsidian, slab of rock, same thing.
So, Grim talks to them in giant. He thinks that they're probably part giant. He says, "What is this temple?" And they say that it's the home of their master.
Oh, you can do. Oh no, not this time. It's not. It's not
You're
like
not gonna let me cop out.
Rexival. Then
Rexavendus,
yeah, see, look at that. No, I wrote it down, and there's nothing. I can't do it.
Krills
I'm just gonna call him Krill.
Krill. Like
Krill.
Krillin. Let's
Like
call him
Krillin.
Krillin.
He's
Yeah.
Krillin.
Yeah.
Their master Krillin.
Yep. So like an oxymoron.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
uh, but yeah.
then Grim says, "Will you let us pass?" And they all think it's a joke. Even we thought it was a joke. But he was dead serious. So then we fight them.
Yes. This one's interesting. This one is really interesting because we noticed them quite a ways off. We're about 100 feet from them, and we see them looking at us, and they kind of exchange this stone throw of a conversation, and when they say no, the party starts moving forward to approach. Meanwhile, Grim is readying for battle as he is prepping, like pre-prepping the buff spells and whatnot. But he leans over when they get kind of within range to start fighting. Grim leans over to Rokor and asks if he trusts him. So Grim asks Rokor, "Do you trust me?" And Rokor gives him a kind of surprised look, but silently nods. And Grim puts a hand on Rokor's back and casts a vengeful anger or vengeful outrage. Sorry, that's the name of the spell. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that no one really sees, but there is a huge change in Rokor's demeanor, and before Grim backs off to take his place in combat, he whispers in Rokor's ear, "Kill them." To which he does exactly that. Rokor rushes into combat headlong, right for the leader, or well, the cocky one that was sitting on the steps. Uh, the battle happens. They die. Voila.
We get some loot. I wrote it down this time.
Not
It was
that.
only 3 things,
Yeah.
as opposed to last time when it was like 27 things. And I was like, Marcus, do this, and he's like, "Okay,
I
got it."
got it. Yeah.
So Grim apologizes to Rokor. He feels super bad because it brings back memories of.
Wait. That's rushing it, and we don't know that. Basically, when the combat ends, Rokor is essentially he's raging. There is that aura of bloodlust,
Oh
and
yeah.
just he's not Rokor. Like Kira and Wes know that this is really out of character. And what drives the point home is after the three giants are dead, Grim puts away his lyre and approaches Rokor like you would approach like a wild animal
Or raptors,
or raptors.
like
So
Chris Pratt stuff.
yeah. So he literally has his hands out in front of him, and he's singing somewhat of a lullaby, just very something soothing to settle Rokor. And once he reaches Rokor, Rokor snaps out of it, and he returns back to normal. And what
But
Wes,
he's like,
Wes and
"What the
yeah,
hell did you do to
what?
me?"
Yeah, Wes and he Rokor basically gives Grim just this look of what the fuck
Mhm.
in like a Rokor way. Wes and Kira don't hear this, but because they're still hanging back, Grim apologizes to Rokor right there and says, I'm very sorry, but I felt we needed to do this. We basically he just apologizes, and Rokor just shrugs and walks away. Like he doesn't even. Oh man, he walks away. To which
Yep.
Wes feels that something is off, and he rushes towards Rokor as the whole party is moving towards the entrance of this temple now, or this ziggurat. It's a ziggurat. Um,
Yeah.
and he Wes says, I forgot to write it down, but he says something along the lines of um, that kind of uh, that kind of power, or it should be saved for when we need it the most.
Mhm.
But we shouldn't need it. That's one of it's something along those lines of
Yeah.
I understand because he's thinking that I think that Wes thinks that it was Rokor's, that that Grim didn't do anything. Or I'm not really sure. I can't speak for him, but there's a little bit of misunderstanding there. And all Rokor replies to Wes is it just brings back bad memories. To
And
which
nobody knows.
we all erupt, and Rokor's Rokor, dude. Like he is the emotionless, protector of badassery, and that's it. Like this came, so only Wes knows about these memories, so to speak.
Only Wes?
Only Wes was there. Only Wes asked. He ran up. They had that little conversation. You were, you didn't run up. You're hanging out with Grim because you're probably
Yeah.
yeah. So only
Oh
Wes
man.
knows. Yeah, only Wes knows what Rokor said about his memories.
Mhm.
So the party approaches the entrance of the ziggurat. Rokor pushes on the doors, and they budge and give way to basically just one large room. And in the center of the room, there's basically a shaft that extends all the way up to the top of the ziggurat, and light is shining through to basically spotlight the center of the room, in where a throne is situated. Uh, Around this throne, there are several snake men. Um, Basically, it looks like they're in the middle of council, something that we do back in Fort Andron all the time. So they're conversing. It looks like they're in council, and on the throne sits an elf,
Mhm.
which only we can assume is what the giants were protecting, their master.
Yep. So then Wes speaks up and says he rolled for this too. He there was a chance he wasn't going to say this, but he speaks up and he says,
Nope.
"Are we invited to this meeting?" He's Wes. He's Flynn Rider. You know,
Yep.
he's a charismatic dude. So he asked that, and the elf, staring directly at us, he was doing this. He was like holding something, or was he just being like super posh?
He was totally posh. Just
Super posh.
super posh.
Fucking wood elf.
We don't know. We don't know. All he said was elf, and I should have asked for
Didn't he say
specificity.
wood elf?
No.
Oh, he just said elf.
I
Well,
just said
I don't
elf.
know. Probably a high elf. Like fuck. Those
Yeah,
guys are-
I take offense to that. Sai takes offense to
You
that.
only take
and
half
you
offense to that. Come on now. You didn't even like your elf side.
Until I met him. Don't talk smack about my dad. Don't.
Okay, fine.
Shut
fine,
up.
Fine. Okay, chill. So, he looks directly at us, being posh, because he's a high elf. And, and he silences the serpents. And they all turn their creepy heads without turning their bodies, because they're fucking snakes. They're creepy
On
as
a
hell.
plane.
And he says, "You have a reputation for a glib tongue, Wesley Walker. I'll enjoy ripping it out." To which Wes replies,
Step.
"Many have tried and many have died." And Rokor says, he takes a couple steps forward and he says, "You'll have to get through me first."
Damn! Yeah, Rokor steps forward and plants his tower shield in the ground. That's what
Yeah.
it's that, and then says that
It's fucking on. And so then he signals the serpent folk, and they all draw their weapons. And that's where it ends.
That's
is-
it.
That is that cliff hanger.
We have cliffhangers for days.
This is like one
This
of the
is-
biggest recent cliffhangers.
Yeah,
Like usually it's like, we're tired.
yeah, and then this is where
And
we
it's
end.
like, okay. Yeah.
But this one is big. We don't know who it is. Elf is not familiar. He hangs out in fucking Alakir jungle in a ziggurat, surrounded by serpent men. The fuck? I don't even know. But it should be really interesting, because we need to get through his minions, and then we need to find out who he is, and we need to kick his butt.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Hidden pie.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I'm a little hesitant about for next session, though, is how Grim is going to respond with to Rokor. Like, I wonder if Rokor is going to ask, like, whatever you did out there, like, do that again here, like, or shit, and that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to really enjoy interacting there, and see if Wes shares that little tidbit of information. He probably will with you. He'll probably ask.
I'll
Be
get
like,
it out of him.
hey,
One way
what
or
is
another.
this? What is these memories that, and then you're like, I don't know, and then we'll all confront him, be like, you Tell now. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
But next session is going to be hype as shit.
Whenever that is, because it won't be Sunday.
It won't be Sunday. It won't be Sunday. It might be tomorrow. Depending.
Maybe.
We still have to talk about it.
I think I could do tomorrow. I could probably do tomorrow.
Be sure. Okay, we're just gonna, because we gotta end the video. Be sure to stay up to date with both our Twitters down below, or the Facebook page, or the channel in general. Hit that follow button if you haven't already to know when we're doing it, because this week is going to be a little bit funky, because we're still going to try to meet. It's just not going to be Sunday Night RPG. That's yeah.
Yep.
So we will see you guys whenever we will see you for Sunday Night RPG. But if nothing else, we will see you on Thursday for recap.
Thank you for playing.
Yep. Stay tuned for stream news and Let's Play updates. We'll be back in a bit.
I'm getting another drink, so it's gonna get fun. Or sad, we'll see. Either way, stick around.
It's just you're like sobbing in the corner.
Okay, are we... Did you do the thing?
Oh, I did the thing.
You did the thing. Okay, let me go do my thing. I'll be right back. Talk to